Hey, Andrew here for mynexttablet.com. Today with an unboxing of the Chuwi SurBook Mini, a pretty new Windows tablet out of China. Let's get to it. Alright, let's unbox the Chuwi SurBook Mini. It's a very interesting tablet because it is basically a Microsoft Surface 3 clone, but a lot cheaper. It costs around $250 US. So it was just released a couple of weeks ago, and now we can unbox it. The guys from Gearbest sent it to me, and yeah, it's at the flash sale right now. And usually I think it costs around $260 or something. And as I said, right now around 250, just under 250 US, which is certainly pretty cheap. All right, let's see what's inside the box. We've got some stuff in here, and that's probably a warranty card and a user manual and so on. Yeah, there's a warranty card, then the user manual, and that's pretty much it. Then we've got the power plug over here, and it is a standard USB Type-C power plug, which is certainly nice. So it's charged via USB Type-C, and then here is the power plug. All right, let's put all of this to the side so that we can take a closer look at the Chuwi SurBook Mini. I already turned it on once very quickly to install benchmarks and a game, so that I have a bit more to say here about the Chuwi SurBook Mini. As I said, $250, and for that it offers quite a nice design. Then, as I said, it's kind of a Microsoft Surface clone, and a pretty interesting one. First of all, we've got the kickstand, and it turns back quite nicely, so you can have it on a desk like this in front of you, and even on a standing desk it's still fine. Yeah, and it's made out of metal, and that's certainly nice. It actually feels like a Surface Book. I had the Microsoft Surface Book 3, not Surface Book, Surface 3 of course, and it looked very similar, and it felt very similar. And we've got a lot of similar design elements, and some of them are just a bit weird. For example, we've got fans here. Well, not fans, there are actually no fans inside, but there are these little, how do you call it, what you would normally see for fans where the air would come out, but the chip is completely passive cooled, so there are no active fans at all here. They just kind of copied the design of the Surface series, but there are two speakers on the side here, so these fan things here are not completely useless. All right, let's get a bit take a look around the design. First of all, the kickstand, it feels quite nicely made. Everything here is metal except a little top part here that's actually plastic, but everything else is metal, and it feels quite sturdy. And the mechanism is, by the way, made out of metal as well, and I hope that it will last. It certainly makes a good impression, but yeah, I will see after a couple of weeks, months, how well the hinge here is made. Similar to the Surface series again, there's a micro SD card slot underneath the kickstand, and then we've got a 2 megapixel camera on the back here. On the side, we've got a couple of ports. First of all, there's your standard 3.5mm audio jack. Then we've got two USB 3.0 ports and a USB Type-C 3.1 port. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That are the ports that we're getting. On the top, there's a power button and volume rockers. And then on this side, we've got two speakers. The speakers are alright, but really nothing special. It's kind of sad that they apparently did put two speakers in here, but only on one side, so there's no real stereo feeling at all. On the bottom, we've got a connector for type cover, well, keyboard cover. Microsoft calls it type cover, but it looks very similar. But the keyboard is not out right now, so you won't be able to buy it as of right now. You have to buy it separately anyways, and then buy it a bit later. There's a 2 megapixel front-facing camera as well. And now we can take a closer look at the internal hardware and the screen. And the screen is very nice because it's 10.8 inches, just like the Surface 3, and it has a Full HD resolution of 1920 by 1280, so it has an aspect ratio of 3:2, again just like the Surface series. And what's very special about the screen is that it is fully laminated, so there's actually no gap between the touch panel and the IPS panel underneath, and that's very unusual with cheaper tablets out of China, or cheaper tablets in general. The iPad 2017 has a gap. Yeah, and this one is fully laminated, so you won't see reflections as easily, and blacks look blacker. It's just a nicer screen if it's fully laminated. And the brightness is actually quite high. I've got it at 25% right now. According to the description, it should be around 450 nits, and that certainly can be, because my first impressions were that, yeah, the screen is quite bright and quite nice in general. Inside here runs an Intel Celeron N3450, that's a quad-core chip, and together with that we are getting 4 GB of RAM and a 46 GB internal storage. So the hardware is quite nice. It's very similar to the Chuwi Hi13, which I reviewed already. There's one major difference though. The Chuwi Hi13 was a bit laggy, even though the chip is quite powerful, but it has a super high resolution of 3000 by 2000 pixel. This is Full HD, still a nice resolution in my opinion. But thanks to the lower resolution screen, the performance should be much better, and according to what I've seen so far, it actually is much better. I did 2 screenshots already. First of all, of the internal storage, as I said, 64 GB, and out of those 64 GB, does it focus? There are 42 GB still free to use out of the box, and yeah, obviously it's not a lot, but you can first of all put a micro SD card in there, or attach external hard drives via the 3 USB Type-C, 3 USB ports. And then I did another screenshot of Geekbench 4 that we've got here, and there you can see the single core test is 1396, and the multi-core test 3716, and that's about a typical result for the Intel Celeron N3450, which is a Apollo-like chipset. By the way, one thing about the screen that I forgot to mention is that there is a screen protector pre-applied already, and it does seem to be a relatively good screen protector, but sometimes the screen protector on Chinese tablets, they are a bit cheap, and then the touchscreen might not react very nicely. If that is ever the case with any Chinese tablet, I would suggest just to put it off, and then it works much nicer. But this screen protector doesn't seem to be too bad actually. Alright, let's just start some things, maybe the Edge browser, and for that, since we don't have the official keyboard cover yet, I will use the Microsoft Universal Mobile Keyboard. It works with Android, Windows and iOS, and with this one as well I already connected it via Bluetooth, and there you can see that it works. So let's just start the Edge browser and browse on mynexttablet.com a bit, and it should work fine. The processor is relatively fast. Obviously it's not a core processor from Intel, but the N3450 should be fast enough for browsing the web a bit, doing some office work, watching YouTube, and do some light multitasking, but not too heavy multitasking. But it certainly should be fine for that. So let's just open up some tabs here, just to see how the performance is. And at the same time, let me find one review to compare some benchmarks. That's the Chuwi Hi13 that I already mentioned. It's 30.5 inch, but as I said, the performance of this one here should be much better. And there we see the Chuwi Hi13 with the N3450 and the relatively typical N3450 benchmark results in Geekbench 4. And there you can just see it's certainly a lot better than a typical Intel Atom X5 tablet, but not as fast as an Intel Core M5, M3 or i5 tablet that we see on the top here, but certainly not bad at all. Alright, web browsing seems to be fine. I don't think there will be any major issues here. We can just start a YouTube video. I'm not sure how fast the Wi-Fi is right now. Oh yeah, it's not bad. And Let's see the sound a bit. The sound quality is alright, it's usable, but not great at all. That is usually the case with cheaper tablets, so you can just connect a Bluetooth speaker or use headphones or something. Alright, I just wanted to browse just a bit. Besides that, it's kind of typical Windows 10. Really nothing special here. We can go into the tablet mode and then it's a bit more touch friendly. That's especially useful if you don't have a keyboard attached. Yeah, otherwise it works exactly like your typical Windows notebook, Windows desktop PC, or other tablets you might have had in the past. One thing I want to try is gaming. I already installed Cuphead, which is not the best game for a tablet with just 64 GB of storage, because it has 10 GB that you have to download. But I wanted to try it because on the Chuwi 13 it was not really playable, especially not at the normal resolution of 3000 by 2000. But since this is a full HD screen, it should be it should work, and I played it already and it does work indeed. Even though the game looks a bit simple, it's actually quite a demanding game. So let me turn on my gamepad here and let's wait until it connects. Oh, it's connected already. So let's play a bit of Cuphead. Now the loading times won't be the fastest because this is really not a gaming chipset in here. But as you will see, it certainly does work, and it works quite nicely. It's pretty nice playable. So let's go in here and then we have to wait a bit. Other games like Asphalt Extreme and Modern Combat 5, they should work here as well. I will certainly try those for my final review. But now we're trying Cuphead, which is a more demanding game than Asphalt Extreme on Windows. Right. So as you can see, there are no lags here, like there were lags on the Chuwi 13 at its standard resolution. Obviously with this one as well, if there's some performance issues, you can turn down the resolution from Full HD to HD or something, and then games and so on should work even better. Alright, that's just something I wanted to show you. Cuphead is a very good game in my opinion, but quite a hard one. So before I die, I just go and disconnect my gamepad. Alright, so my first impressions of the Chuwi SurBook Mini are pretty nice, especially at the price of around $250. If we take a look at a couple of competitors, especially from more famous brands, then at this price point we usually get a tablet with an Intel Atom X5 chipset only, like the Lenovo Mix 320 or Asus Transformer Book Mini, and those are kind of slow. The N3450 here is a much faster processor, and compared to that, this certainly has an advantage, especially since the Lenovo Mix 320 and Asus Transformer Book Mini have an HD resolution only, at least in their cheapest versions. Another direct competitor to this one is the Acer Switch 3. I know the euro price, that is around 499 euros for the standard version. With Windows 10S you can get it for 399 euros, and I'm guessing that the US price is around 400 to 500 US dollars. Alright, now I will start my review, but as I said, first impressions are pretty good, especially since we've got a nice design here and especially a very nice fully laminated screen, so no gap between the touchscreen and IPS panel. I don't know if I will have the chance to check out the keyboard. I hope it will be available soon, but as I said, you can just connect any keyboard to it. I'm always using the Microsoft Universal Mobile Keyboard, that's the full name, with all my tablets, no matter if it's iPad, Android or Windows, and that works very nicely, especially if the tablet is relatively small like here. Alright, another accessory you can get is an active stylus, but that one is not pressure sensitive, so it's probably not that interesting. Okay, that's my unboxing and hands-on with the Chuwi SurBook Mini. If you've got any questions, just write them down below. I'm NJ for mynexttablet.com. Thanks for watching.